Hey there, beautiful people. This is Mentor Shelley, wanting to make sure that you become a better version of yourself professionally, guys. Welcome, welcome. It is on this Good Friday. Now, guys, we know that for those of you that do celebrate, wonderful. For those of you that don't, it's just a regular old Friday evening for some of y'all. But as we are here, I just want to make sure that you have what you need. Go ahead and like the video as you come in. And for those that are watching this after the fact, go ahead and ask your questions, leave your comments below. For those who join us, great. What we are going to be talking about today, shifting job markets and how to pivot, especially after a layoff. The layoffs, unfortunately, guys, is not going anywhere. There are other organizations, whether they're in the public or private sector, that is still laying off. And unfortunately, based on the direction the economy is going in the US, there's unfortunately going to be more. So let's just dive in and let's get the stream started. Go ahead and stay tuned, guys. Hey there, beautiful people. This is Mentor Shelley, wanting to make sure that you become a better version of yourself professionally. And because unfortunately there are these layoffs going on in different areas, different sectors of government, different sectors in the private sector, and in the public sector. I wanted to highlight this specific company called Kroger Health. We'll go ahead and look into the article to see what it is that they're talking about, of course. And I want to also touch on what shift in the job market is taking place, especially in 2025, with all of the tariffs and all kinds of things that's going on. We're going to dive into that tonight. All right. And of course, as you come in, say hello, drop a one in the comments, and we are here, to help you guys to become a better professional, especially during these challenging times. So let's see here. Let's go ahead and get to that particular article. It is titled "Some Kroger Health Employees Receive Their Layoff Notices Amid Potential Shutdowns. People are going to be unalived." The story was written by Joe Holden about 3 days ago. And of course, because it's a healthcare company, that may be why they're taking such a very strong stance in regards to this. Let me put myself at the bottom here so you guys can see the article properly. Despite efforts to find a buyer to save bankrupt Kroger Health Systems in Delaware County, Pennsylvania, people say that they've received layoff notices. Renee Marcella has been with Kroger for 9 years as an occupational therapist with the home care and hospice department. She said some workers got bad news on Friday. That we'd all be losing our jobs, that the home care and hospice department had 60 days. And that's it. At least you guys got warning. Some people didn't, Marcella said. They're cutting our services completely. Marcella's several dozen of her colleagues visit sick people in their homes, including those recently discharged from the hospital. They're there to help them get back on their feet. That is a very important and needed service. Okay. Not to be somber, but the people are going to die. I truly believe that 100%. People will die as a result of them closing. CBS News Philadelphia has been trying to speak to Kroger about those claims that what would happen to patient care and safety if these hospitals close, but they haven't responded. 3,000 workers like Marcella are also in limbo. They're caught in an ugly back and forth fight to save a financially doomed health systems. All of us have been holding on really tight and taking it in week by week. Actually, Marcella said the uncertainty of these services has been the hardest part for all of us. Just keep showing up no matter what. Just keep showing up. That's a picture of Renee Marcella, of course, in the article. He said on Monday night, Kroger CEO announced his resignation. Then that's it. But if the CEO is resigning, you know what time it is, folks. Everybody else is going too. He got a golden parachute and he got the heck out of Dodge. Um, an attorney from Prospect Health Holdings, the owner of Kroger Systems, told the bankruptcy judge last week that some of its hospital service lines would be transitioning out while they work to find a buyer for the system. The OBGYN was identified, but there's no mention of Marcella's department. An additional $6 million was provided to the systems to keep it running through the week. To think that that's it, that they could have just closed like that. It's gut wrenching. And and it has all of us devastated. Marcella said. CBS News Philadelphia has reportedly reached out to Kroger spokesperson for comment about what other departments may potentially be on the chopping block. We have not heard back. Listen, let me tell you this something. The fact that you haven't heard anything, the fact that they're not responding means that they're cleaning house to get the heck out of Dodge. Let's be clear. Okay? Let's be clear. Let me just come. Yeah, they're getting the heck out of Dodge and they're cleaning up house so they can peace out. All right, let's finish this up. Now, CBS California. Mommy put that shot in my box. They have not heard back. As for individual employees, as that June 10th deadline approaches, they've been told they'll hear from Human Resources. I've been there before, and all they are going to tell you is that, by the way, they've given the 60-day notice already. We're in April, middle of April, and this article was written 3 days ago. Their time is June, and the CEO is gone. Best believe it's time to go. Are you an employee at this organization or know people at this organization? Send them this video, because what I'm about to approach is to basically help them move from shock and awe to let's get some strategy and let's keep it moving. A lot of people in the last couple of months have found themselves in some very precarious positions, unfortunately, because government agencies are making decisions, CEOs are making decisions. In this particular instance, this company's going bankrupt. So with all of that said, they're going to get rid of their most, dispensable cost first, which is going to be, of course, labor. It's unfortunate, but it's true. So here's what I want to just talk to you guys about tonight, about shifting markets and how to pivot, because unfortunately, we live in the real world, not the fantasy one, where you have to have a strategy and you have to move quick. Not that I'm not in no way, shape, or form saying I don't understand what's going on and I don't empathize. This is exactly why I'm doing this live tonight, to make sure I share with folks that are going through this ways to transition, ways to pivot, to help themselves economically, because this is a struggle for anyone that's affected directly or indirectly. So let's jump right in, shall we, folks? Shifting job markets and how to pivot. Now, they're facing layoffs, re-entering the job market after years away, or getting ready to pivot into something new. Understanding where the opportunities will be will give you clarity and confidence to move forward strategically, not reactionary. Because at the end of the day, people, you have to understand that this is business for folks, okay? This is business for them. And if business isn't running right, in this case, the business is going to go belly up, then they are they have to let people go, and that's just a part of it. Okay, let's see here. I just want to make sure that you guys have the information. Okay, I don't want to sound, and I'm hoping that I'm not sounding callous here. We have to find solutions for this stuff, and it's not something that's lost on me. I understand what is going on, and I want to make sure that you have what you need. Okay, so let's see here. Let's remove this for now. All right, let's go back, shall we? So when you're facing a layoff, you want to make sure that you have an idea of what are you going to do. Are you going to shift to, let me come back on the screen here. Are you going to go to, let me go here. That's even better. Yes. Are you going to stay in the industry that you're in and try to find another opportunity there? Are you going to make a change? Maybe you wanted to start a business. Maybe you wanted to consult and be able to offer your freelance, offer your services to, several employers, not just one. Maybe you want to try a completely different industry. If you're looking to try a different industry, you want to have an idea of what industries you could possibly shift to. That's what this live is about tonight. All right, and we're going to touch on some of those industries here. Okay, I want you to understand I'm here to make sure that you become a better professional, but to work through this stuff is key because you have to have a plan. I understand folks are stressed, but I want to make sure that, even with that, you have a plan to move forward because at the end of the day, that's what this is about. You're able to move forward and you're able to move forward with a plan, not just wandering aimlessly because there's a lot of people doing that too. And that's not helping them or their families. Okay, so which industries may actually be on the rise? Here are sectors that are showing growth based on some of the research that I've done on BLS.gov, on ONET, and a few other websites, just looking at the labor market in the US in general. Tech is still hot. It is just shifting to cybersecurity, cloud support, AI prompt engineers. Please, if you have anything to do with AI, dig as deep in as possible. Why? Because companies are investing in digital security, automation, online systems, even if big tech is laying off. If you don't have a specific specialty that you want to go into tech, go into anything AI prompt engineers, AI design engineers, anything AI right now. Hop on that ASAP. Okay? That is definitely that's the industry that's on the rise, not just in tech, but tech as well, anything having to do with AI. Jump on that quick because it is ever changing on a daily basis. Okay, which other roles, which other industries are on the rise? Healthcare and health tech. Health technical, like health tech as far as involving AI in that process as well. AI has an influence here as well. We were talking about both Cherie and I were talking about the fact that AI is now going to affect directly and indirectly affect teachers and medical professionals. In some ways, not in a good way, but it's all in how you pivot and how you position yourself. Roles that are going to be, that's going to be on the rise: medical coders, telehealth coordinators, healthcare administrators, mental health counselors. Why? The aging population, mental health focus, because based on what you see online these days, or based on how you see people are behaving or are crashing out or going through different things, the mental health focus is key. And virtual care is going to grow astronomically as we move more into the technological field. So technology is going to have a big influence on healthcare, education and e-learning, instructional designers, curriculum developers, online tutors, and L&D, learning and development specialists. What I am doing right now is a form of learning and development, instructional design. This is a very lightweight version of that, but we're pretty much sharing information. You're able to learn skills that normally would have cost a whole lot more. There's a lot of online classes on different platforms. You hear me talk about them all the time. The Udemy's of the world, the Skillshares, even Google. LinkedIn Learning has online courses that you can use to obtain certifications to increase your hireability, to increase your skills, to be able to be even more hireable, or to build up your technical skills. That is part of what we always talk about on Black Women Making Money with Cherie. Always work to build your technical skills to become more marketable in the job market. Okay, guys, as you're coming in, if you want to just say hello, drop a one in the comments. Let me know if this live is helping you thus far. Oh, hello, NC Worker. Welcome to the live. I want to make sure that you guys are able to benefit from this information, because unfortunately, these layoffs aren't slowing down, so you have to have a plan of action. All right, so let's jump back in here. Other roles, skilled trades. I cannot say this enough. A lot of the skilled trades, still tradesmen out there, are getting older. They can't climb those ladders as quickly as they used to. I would encourage, especially Gen Z, please start going to, if you don't want to go to do the 4-year school thing, or you don't want to go into IT, or if you've gotten laid off from your job and you're looking to maybe up the ante on your skills, please look into skilled trades and infrastructure. Roles like electrician, HVAC techs, carpenters, project managers on construction sites, or handymen, masons, people that do all of the work. They put the plaster on, they put the infrastructure in the building on, they do the what do you call it? Building blocks, bricks, steel, wood, building. I watch people on all the time on YouTube build these tiny houses, but they need people to build regular houses. Whether you're building it in a factory where they do a lot of these prefab houses, or you're doing it on the property or on raw land, please go ahead and look into this. Those skilled trades take a lot less time. Some of them may take 6 months, some may take a year or two, or you go into an apprenticeship and obtain your certifications and your licenses through the state and through the county, depending on where you live. Look into those things. Of course, I can't do all the work for you, but we can definitely talk about what direction you want to go. Why is this important, or why you should look into this? Federal infrastructure, there is investments and retirements in trades. Please, folks, take advantage of this industry. If you like to work with your hands and you want to get physical and do physical work, this is the place to be. Business and operations roles, HR specialist. Hello. HR in the building, but our role is about to change based on technology as well. Business analysts. They're business analysts that's going to be managing a lot of different processes in business, whether it's building processes for a business, whether it's making sure the business processes is helping to increase profit or save companies money, whether their business analysts are working to help build systems to help the business be more efficient. Compliance officers, part of what HR does is make sure that companies are remaining compliant with employment laws, which are ever changing based on what's going on in our government. But still, compliance officers, whether you're staying compliant with safety rules or with employment law or with any type of governing body. Let's say you're working in a factory, so to speak, and you're one of the compliance officers. You're working in a food plant. I'm sorry. Let me use that as an example. You're working in a food plant. A lot of food plants are governed and have to comply with a lot of regulatory agencies because they are handling food that people consume. If they're making a product or they're manufacturing a product in some way, shape, or form that people are going to put in their stomachs to feed them, then they have to. They're regulated by SQL. They're regulated by the Department of Agriculture. They're regulated by the Food and Drug Administration, and all of the governing bodies that they have to comply with. So compliance officers are going to be key in that. That's not going anywhere. Remote customer service success managers. This is not a bad field to go into for the time being because you're looking for opportunities with layoffs and things of that nature. That does not mean that you should stay there. That's one way of looking at it because unfortunately, AI will be taking over this particular industry in a matter of 5 years. So while you're there, you may want to learn the AI portion of customer success. That way, you're able to provide it remotely and use technology to your advantage, not to your disadvantage. Why? Organizations are scaling lean, looking for adaptable, cross-functional professionals to make sure that you have skills in the skill trades if you want to work with your hands. And if it's business and operations, here are some of the industries that are still on the rise. Other areas that you may not have considered: green energy, of course, the solar folks, the energy analysis, because that's going to become an issue. That's in some cases, there's some places that's already a booming industry. Digital marketing, of course, if you're not advertising online, if you're not marketing in some way, shape, or form with your regular brick and mortar business online, then you now have options and access as a recently laid off person to either start or use that opportunity to switch to maybe going on to social media to use the skills you already have to make. Well, we talked about freelancing before. Freelancing, contract work, that's going to become the norm more than regular jobs. So virtual assisting, copywriting, tech support, you want to make sure that if you are going to go into the freelancing contracting work route, that you are using your professional network or you are building your professional network to be able to offer these services to folks that are using them. All right, guys, I want to come back and make sure I say this. You guys, that the people that are in that article that are about to get laid off, the people that may have been a part of some of the layoffs through the different federal agencies that we talked about in the last couple of months. If you're in those sectors, look at the industries that you have options. They're growing in one way or another. And what I'm going to say is get in where you fit in. Okay? Nobody is going to spoon feed you. This is not the time for spoon feeding. The way our economy is set up right now, and unfortunately, the way things are going and who's in charge and who's running things, there is no time for spoon feeding. It is time to take action. If you've been laid off or you heard that you're going to be laid off, don't wait. Start talking, start reconnecting with your network. See this thing here? It's not just for scrolling. You got to talk to folks. You got to get connected with folks. You got to start going to networking events. If you weren't doing that before, start now. It is important and it is absolutely necessary for you to prepare because you're not sure where your opportunities are going to come from, but you want to use every resource you have available to you. Now, transferable skills that'll get you hired. Based on what you were doing in your old role that you were laid off from, if your old role, let's say you were in a government position, like you have government admin assistant, that can be translated to remote executive assistance or operation support. If you are a program manager, then you can also use those skills as a project manager in tech and healthcare. Excuse me, we've talked about project management here before, especially when we were talking about ex-trad wives using their skills as an ex-trad wife because they're already doing project management. They're just not getting, paid for it in an official job. Customer service, well, we just talked about customer success manager, homemaker. Operations coordinator, client care lead. Those are transferable. Teacher, instructional designer, learning manager. Keep in mind, guys, your resume and your LinkedIn should reflect results, not just responsibilities. What does it say here? Coordinating housing programs, You manage $500,000 budgeting across multiple department housing projects. That budget may not be as high, but honey, use the information, what you've done, to communicate what it is that you are doing. All right, guys, as I'm checking in here to make sure you guys are all good. But where can you find the jobs being posted as you pivot? We have a list here: LinkedIn, best for professional roles, networking, and building a brand. You want to make sure that you're on here. If you do not have a LinkedIn profile, hold on, let me come front and center on the screen. Yeah, hold on a second. Who watches this channel on a regular basis and don't have a LinkedIn profile? Because if you don't, why not? Why not? I don't know if I've said it more than one time to you guys. LinkedIn is the place that if you are any type of professional, you want your profile on here. Why do I say that? Why am I pushing that? Why did I pause here? Why did I plop a seat on this here page? I can personally attest to LinkedIn working for you when it's done correctly. I have been grateful and I am thankful. But I'm also sensible enough to know that you put your information where people are going to find it. Darlings, recruiters want their lives to be easier as much as you want your job search to be easier. Place your information. That's your online resume. That's your profile. That's your show and tell. That's one of the ways you show and tell in your professional life. Please put your information on LinkedIn because that's one of the first places recruiters look. Okay? Whether you're laid off or not, your information needs to be on LinkedIn. People reach out. Recruiters reach out to people on LinkedIn all the time. Okay? Not just post it on LinkedIn, but make sure you're reading and commenting on the industry specific, the industry you want to go into, or the industry you're already in. You're spending time in industry pages, in industry groups, networking online as well as networking offline. LinkedIn is a part of that spectrum. All right? Make sure you're on there. Okay? Indeed. It's a high volume of listings, flex jobs, remote jobs. The flex jobs is a paid service, though. USA jobs. Federal positions are kind of in limbo right now. I'm not going to even lie about it. Because you don't know what's going on with the government right now. So you might want to rethink that one. But hey, apply everywhere. See who calls back. Angel, Upwork, Fiverr, of course. You're going to freelance and contracting route, but also reach out to your direct and indirect network for freelances and contract work as well. Angel List, when well found to find different types of gigs and different types of working. Now, we talked about upskilling. We touched on a couple of them earlier. You want to make sure that you're not going back to school for another 4 years, but definitely look to build your skills through certifications on platforms like Coursera for project management, data analysis, and Google Certs. You can go on Google as well. We talk about free IT courses on there. Check those out. Digital marketing. Skillshare has some freelance marketing, things of that nature as well. LinkedIn Learning has remote work, DEI, leadership, and other types of other online platforms. Remember, certifications like project management can open doors, and data analytics can open the doors up to 80,000 or more, even when you're pivoting careers. Why? Because you already have skills and you're adding to it. That makes you a more of a marketable person. Now, before you jump into maybe making a switch, right, to a different industry, I want you to ask yourself these questions, right? Because you want to make sure that you have what you need to be successful in this industry as well. You got to ask yourself, Does this job allow room for growth and security? There's no job has security. Let's throw that out the window. Does this job allow room for growth? Right? Are the skills I'm learning future proof? Right? We talked about different industries and where they're going, so you have an understanding that these industries that we just discussed are more future proof. Okay? Can I leverage my current skills, or do I need a certification to move forward? Remember, we just talked about that. If you need a certification, we know some of the places you can start pursuing them, or you can pursue them, classes in person as well at some universities. Some universities that are in your neighborhood or in your city or in your county may offer some of those classes, as well as some of the some, not necessarily high school, but trade schools as well. Okay, can you leverage your current skills, or do you need a certification to move forward? Is the industry still evolving? AI is definitely one of those, or already shrinking. Cashiers would be a prime example of an industry that is shrinking, because if you go to a lot of places now, there's a lot of self checkout, and there's also a lot of automated ways for you to pay before you go there, and you just pick up your stuff. So that would be, or toll workers. That industry is pretty much dead. There are places now. Do you want, if you are going through layoffs right now, or you know that you're going to be laid off, and you are looking for answers, you're looking for ways to really get in gear and really get things going, I do have a workshop available. Feeling overwhelmed right now, there's two ways I can definitely help you guys. You can go to mentorshelly.com/layoff and sign up for the overcoming layoff workshop. I have a lot of resources in there, some of which I've talked about on the channel, but it's a comprehensive workshop that has videos, resources, tutorials to help you sharpen up that resume, sharpen up your interview skills. And if you're looking to pivot in a different industry, these are some of the industries that we discuss and ways for you to pivot with the skills you currently have. Okay, and for anyone that actually signs up for anyone, I have another 5 spots left. If you sign up for the overcoming workshop today, or if you sign up, the next 5 people that sign up for the overcoming layoff workshop will get a free career coaching with me, one-on-one work with me, so we can rebuild your brand, rebuild your skills, rebuild your income, and get you back to where you need to be and further economically, especially during a time like this. And of course, as I said, if you want to work with me one-on-one, that's separate. Outside of the workshop, you can go to mentorshelly.com/consultations. And I'm more than happy to work with you one-on-one. Maybe you don't want to just do the workshop with all of the other students. You want to work with me one-on-one, and we'll put a comprehensive plan together for you as well. All right, guys, of course, if you have made it this far with me, go ahead and like the video, share it with somebody that you know is going through this right now. But of course, as always, I want to make sure you have the tools, you have what you need to become a better professional, especially during difficult situations like this. NC Worker, thank you so much for stopping by with a live. And of course, anyone else that you know that is going through this, share this video with them so they can find, and of course, use the information to help them in their journey back to, better economics during this time. All right, guys, this is Mentor Shelley, wanting to make sure that you become a better version of yourself professionally. If you know anyone that is going through this, make sure you share this with them, and make sure you know that we are still on the road to 1,000 subscribers. But as we do that, we want to make sure that we are helping the people that are going through layoffs, and that they have ways to pivot into industries that are growing. All right, guys, take care. This is Mentor Shelley signing off. Y'all have a good one. Bye.